Hello, traveler. I've come, Faceless, with the story you desire. The sun dipped in the horizon, bleeding colors of red and orange, a beautiful start of the summer vacation in the town. Murmurs of people, crying of crows, and the continuous buzz of the trees swallowed the town. A boy, weak and fragile, very evident from the bruises all over his limbs, crying and wailing all over his bed, snot and tears covered his bedsheets. A voice, distant and muffled, made the boy straighten on his bed. It was his mom calling for him. "Dinner's ready. Come down, boy." The command echoed in his ears. He frantically wiped his tears, making his way down to the dinner table, finding his dad already seated and gazing at him. "Your eyes are all swollen. What happened?" His dad interrogated, his voice all monotone, bereft of concern. "Nothing. A long lap, maybe." A thought surfaced as he answered, "Why, even he cares." Dinner was normal. Not a piece of dialogue was exchanged between the family, but surprisingly, "Boy here, my laptop. I'm passing it down to you." The boy's dad gave him a gift, his face not at all content, just a passive expression blotted any and all emotions. He never touched the laptop since he received it with his two hands from his dad. He didn't answer his dad's bestowal, but he had an answer in his head already formed, but not voicing it since it would do no good. Just what are you trying to do now? No need for the act. Days passed, and one morning, which was very much the middle of the day, the boy found a guy sitting in the living room. It was a rather conspicuous day. Soon the burning sun was shadowed. It felt like that the dark clouds had swallowed it whole, and the world was painted gray. The guy trod towards the boy, and what he found caught his breath. "I am your cousin, from your mom's side, and I've come to celebrate the summer vacation, the best I had." He was very similar looking to boy, an almost spitting image of him. That ends for now. To know what became, that is already set in stone. Be sure to subscribe and wait for the episode, and do tell me, what do you suppose of the story? Hello, traveler. Faceless has returned with the continuation you desire. Days bled together. Nothing was out of the ordinary. Each day bid goodbye in a painstakingly slow manner. The boy was submerged in his own thoughts. Looking up at the dark clouds, the gentle breeze carried a fleeting wish. I wish I was a cloud. His thoughts were shattered by the violent tapping of a keyboard. He ignored it. It was just his cousin, glued to the computer again. Later, there was club business at school. He left the house expecting total silence, but a voice called out, "Safe travels, brother." His cousin bid him farewell. The moment the boy stepped onto the school's threshold, a shout echoed across the hallway. A student was charging at him, eyes fuming with rage. Before he could process anything, he was slammed against the wall by his collar. "You crossed the line last night. I don't tolerate trash talk," the student spat, throwing him forcefully down the stairs. The boy's world went numb with pain. He spent the rest of the day trapped in his own head, patiently watching the window, waiting for the sun to set. Soon, the sun dipped below the horizon, setting the world ablaze, matching the fiery rage in his mind. Stomping back into his room, he confronted his cousin. "What the hell did you do? Because of you, I had a horrible day." The cousin didn't argue. He just smirked. That belittling look hurt worse than the fall down the stairs. Blinded by anger, the boy threw a heavy punch, his knuckles striking his cousin's cheek. But that night at bedtime, the boy's own jaw flared in agonizing pain. It was the exact spot where his knuckles had met his cousin's face. He touched his swelling skin, trying to shrug it off. Maybe I'm just hurting from the fight at school. And then, his cousin was nowhere to be seen. That ends for now. What happens next is already set in stone. Subscribe to wait for the next chapter, and tell me in the comments, what do you think of this story? Hello, traveler. H-Faceless has returned with the continuation you desire. I recommend you, fellow traveler. If you haven't watched the previous parts, then please do. The link is in the description. A violent rapping at the door woke the boy from his deep slumber. His sluggish steps brought him to the door. The more time he took, the more frantic the knocking became. By the time he reached the handle, the noise was continuous and deafening. The scene before his eyes jolted him wide awake. His adrenaline surged. An angry mob of teenagers was glaring at him, their gazes cutting deep into his soul, making him shudder. "You're done!" A shout triggered the charge. The boy quickly backed off, raising his hands in surrender. "You can beat me. You will beat me," the boy reasoned. "But tell me why my face is going to be messed up." "You crossed the line. Your words were not just friendly insults. They were venom." The boy ran. He glided through the streets until his lungs flared, his muscles tightened, and his thoughts became scattered and incomprehensible. Suddenly, a hand yanked him into an abandoned building, a place strictly forbidden to trespassers. The boy fell flat on the floor, waiting for his vision to return. Gathering his strength, he looked up at his savior. "Are you okay, brother?" It was his cousin. The boy glared at his cousin's looming figure, ready to scream at him. But he didn't. He realized it was fun. The antics didn't stop there. They escalated. Soon, the boy couldn't even step outside without a chase. But the fear didn't stop him from enjoying the thrill. He planned his escapes, his dialogues, and his ploys every night, awaiting a dawn that would be new, thrilling, and filled with fun. With that mindset, he swung open the door one morning, expecting another angry mob. Instead, he found 2 police officers standing before him. "Your son has been practicing severe cyberbullying, almost driving a young boy to his demise. We need to take him to a psychiatric ward." Those words sliced through his excitement. "He is going to be arrested. My cousin will. That means no more chasing. But wait, why am I being accused?" He desperately reasoned with the officers, even taking them to his room. His cousin was nowhere to be seen. "There is no one here. Stop blaming some imaginary cousin. For once, take responsibility." What a disgrace. His mother fell to her knees, sobbing louder than the boy had ever heard. The boy's memory suddenly jogged. Since the cousin arrived, his mother had stopped serving him dinner. "I thought cutlery was the problem, so I just had to eat with my cousin." He stopped resisting. Brought before the doctor in the freezing ward, he asked one final question. "Was my cousin never there?" A resounding yes tore through his mind. A single thought surfaced in the boy's mind. I did it. Through the cries of crows and the buzz of cicadas, a knock echoes on the door of a seemingly normal house. On a seemingly normal afternoon, during a seemingly dull summer, a seemingly normal boy sits with his face covered in tears. He frantically wipes them away. He opens the door to find, much to his surprise, "Greetings, brother. I'm your cousin." And that ends for now, traveler. A question comes to mind. Who are we? Evil? Kind? What are we? Be sure to subscribe, for I will surely come to you again with the stories you desire. And tell me in the comments, what do you think of the ghost in the monitor?